Hey, everybody. I hope you're having a great weekend. This is our third installment of our video updates in the newsletter. And today we're going to focus on fundraisers and the student activity fee. So let me just start us off by saying that you are asked to pay $125 every year per child. $50 goes towards field trips. The remainder goes towards supporting student technology. For example, when a Chromebook breaks, or we need to have them repaired, or a charging cord goes out, or an iPad, any of those things. And so we use that extra portion for that. It also supports whole school events like the end of the year Kincaid Day, anything we need material wise for whole school assemblies, um, things for the Amazing Shake, things like that. I will tell you that we have not raised that amount. And oh my goodness, it's probably been 15 years. It's been a long time. And so that $50 for field trips doesn't go as far as it used to, as you can imagine, which is why we also have other fundraisers happening throughout the year. So that's where that money is slated to go. Um, I want to acknowledge that there are a bunch of fundraisers. I get it, you guys. There's a lot. But they're all rooted in helping support students and classrooms and teachers. So know that that's why they're there. I understand that it can feel overwhelming at times. There is no expectation that you participate in every single fundraiser. Please pick and choose what works for your family. There's some distinct, what's the right word I'm looking for? Some things to distinguish between. So there's PTO led fundraisers, but there's also some classroom based fundraisers. Jogathon, for example, that's our huge fundraiser that we do at the beginning of the year. That's PTO led. And that fundraiser supports the PTO budget for the entire year. Now, we go over that budget line item by line item during PTO meetings that happen the first Monday of every month at 5:30 in the library. And the Jogathon supports things like the overnight field trips for fifth and sixth grade. Next year it'll be fourth and fifth. It supports things like our ice skating night or our roller skating night or I mean, any of those things, our house ball. So the fundraiser, that Jogathon fundraiser, really does support the entire PTO budget. That's what they base everything on. And then there's a few other PTO events, like the restaurant fundraisers that they put out, or Tasty Freeze, for example. And the communication about those events always comes through the newsletter. It's always in the upcoming events. And it can also be found on the PTO webpage, which is linked on the Aquarian webpage or the PTO Facebook page. But those are the PTO events. Classroom teachers will do two bake sales a year to try and increase the money that they can spend on field trips. And then there's other things like the pizza fundraisers that third grade does. Again, optional. You do not have to participate, but that's trying to get kids outside more. Those go to support some skiing field trips or the Matanuska Glacier field trips. And so trying to balance the requests for more outside experiences for our kids while acknowledging that the cost for everything is going up. Um, you may have noticed that we did some fundraising around Christmas time for like Dave and Buster's, and I think there's like movie tickets, and those were put on by fifth grade. Well, like I said, PTO helps send our fifth graders to space camp in the spring. But in the fall, they did an overnight experience out at the Baggage Bogs Visitor Center. And it was really expensive. And so to be able to do that again, they have to start doing some fundraising opportunities. So again, I want to acknowledge, I understand there's a lot of fundraisers going on. Please know we don't expect you to participate in anything or everything, but like pick and choose what works for your family. Uh, Myself, for example, we haven't done a pizza fundraiser all year. That's a choice for my family. But I did the Dave and Buster's fundraiser. So you just have to pick and choose. We will share the feedback with PTO to see if we can't get dates further in advance than what's coming out in the newsletter. We hear that that was a request in several comments. So we'll be working on that. And the PTO does track the Jogathon fundraiser, so I would encourage you to jump on their website in the fall when we're doing Jogathon, and you can look at that. And I will share with them the request that their budget live on a place on their website so that you can access it without having to come necessarily to the PTO meetings. And then you'll be able to see where everything goes. Um, there was also some comments on the survey about families not quite sure how to get involved. And I would just keep pointing everybody back to the newsletter when they were requesting, when PTO was requesting volunteers for the house ball, or when they were requesting volunteers for jogathon, that was all communicated through the newsletter. So make sure that you're going through it. I know the newsletter is lengthy, but it really is your one-stop shop for all your information. And so just refer back to that as much as you possibly can. Um, there was some comments on the survey regarding having events at the school. We last year did our bingo night and our house ball at the school. Well, you guys, our community is so amazing that we have a massive turnout. So we had to move house ball to a bigger venue so that we weren't turning people away. Bingo night was close. If you came, it was an amazing event, but it was standing room only once we got going. So there are reasons why we were looking at other venues, and a lot of it has to do with space. So we hear wanting to have things at school, but sometimes so that we can include everybody, we can't always do that. The other comments, I'm just kind of as I'm talking, going through our survey comments. Timing of events. We are not going to find a perfect time for every family. We have some comments on the survey. Our youngers, the evening events, the later events are harder for them because of bedtime and dinner time. We also have some working families that can't do much before 6 o'clock because of their work schedules. And so we do try and offer some variety. You'll notice our ice skating event was on a Sunday, kind of middle of the day. House ball was a little bit later on a Saturday. Bingo night was on a Thursday in the evening. So we do try and stagger days and times because it's not going to work for everybody, and we understand that. Um, the PTO does have a donate button on their website. I don't know if it's turned on right now or not. So I'm going to share with PTO that would be something that our community would like. There were a couple comments on, you don't want to participate in a restaurant night or not necessarily buying gift cards, but you would just donate if that was an option. And so I will let them know that was a request to have that button turned on. And it may actually already be turned on. I'm not certain. I haven't checked, but I will share that information with PTO. Let's see, what else did you guys have on this topic? There was a ton of positive comments, and I do want to stress that, especially to our PTO members that are watching this. These guys put in a ton of time. One, they meet every Monday at 5:30. So right there, we're at hour to 2 hour meetings once a month that they're putting in their time. In addition to that, they're planning all of our community events. We do one a month. So it might not seem like it, but it takes a lot to prepare and organize those events. And these PTO folks are amazing at supporting our community and listening to constructive criticism. They also will welcome more members. And it might feel hard to figure out where's your starting point, or what events do you want to participate in. And I would just urge you, try and come to a PTO meeting Mondays at 5:30, and we will get you plugged in and put you to work. Trust us, we are not going to turn down any kind of volunteer help. There were a lot of great ideas within the survey for other fundraising projects or events. We welcome those ideas. Come to a PTO meeting, come share your ideas, especially if you have an idea and you're willing to be the organizer of that idea. That would be optimal. So again, come on out to the PTO meetings, and you'll get a lot of information, but we will also get you plugged in where you need to go. So I just want to wrap up by saying our PTO is amazing. They do a ton of things. Remember, they all have full-time jobs. This is a volunteer position that they're in. So they're working their full-time job and doing this, which is a lot, and doing parenting. And I just want to acknowledge that hard work that they're putting in. I also want to acknowledge that fundraising is a lot. I understand it is a lot. The bake sales, the pizza sales, but it's all coming from a place of wanting to do more for our kids and understanding that wanting to do more and get them in the community and take them out for learning opportunities costs money. And we are looking at, is it worth raising the 125 student activity fee, and then lessening some of our fundraising? We haven't made a decision on that yet, but it's something that we've started to have a conversation on. Things we also have to realize is that $125 activity fee can be hard for families, and it's not a small ask. So we do also understand that and wanting to make sure we're finding that right balance of what's the amount that folks can pay, can afford to pay so that we can do these field trips and activities and support technology, and what's too much, right? So at least with the fundraisers, you can pick and choose. Um, yeah, all that to say, it's really hard, you guys, looking at the survey comments. And I'm sure you, as you know, one comment might say, too many fundraisers. The next one says, let's do more fundraisers. Too many fundraisers, but we want more outside events. So trying to balance all that is heavy. I guess I just want you to know that APC members are really looking at those comments. They are, and trying to do what's best for the entire community. Um, so yeah, there's a lot of great people working in PTO and APC, and they're doing everything they can. And hopefully I answered some of your questions. I'll make sure we share these comments with PTO. I think our survey committee on APC may have already sent it to our PTO president. And so yeah, we're gonna wrap it up there. I kind of feel like I'm rambling a little bit. I hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend. And if you have questions about specific fundraisers, or you don't feel like something was answered about where money for a fundraiser is going, email me, reach out. I will answer anything that you email, questions that you have. And if I don't have the answer, I can find it for you. Um, your APC members, your PTO, they are willing to answer questions as well. We are here for you guys. And again, I encourage you, PTO happens Mondays, first Monday of every month at 5:30 in the library. Come on out. APC is the third Monday of every month at 5:45. We have two more meetings left for both groups, and we'd love to see you there. Thanks, everybody.